Item: SCP-833. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-833 is to be contained in Site-21 following Standard Class II Biohazard Procedures. As a precautionary measure, Site-21 does not have a cafeteria, and all personnel located at Site-21 are to eat only the meals delivered from Site-19. Employees of Level 1 or higher may request additional or alternative rations via the facility's director. All on-site personnel are instructed to report severe nausea, diarrhea, or muscle pain to site medical staff immediately. In the event of confirmed infestation, the victim will be treated with an aggressive course of anthelmintic drugs. Civilian outbreaks of SCP-833 are to be treated similarly, but the civilians are to be quarantined for the duration of treatment. Should the drug regimen prove ineffective, termination of infected personnel and civilians is authorized. Description: SCP-833 is a parasitic nematode of the genus Trichinella only capable of infesting humans. Infestation by SCP-833 has symptoms similar to a mild case of trichinosis, often including initial intestinal distress followed by muscle pain and fever about a week after infection. Symptoms fade after about 3 weeks. In many cases, infestation is asymptomatic. As with all varieties of trichinosis, the disease is spread by the consumption of tainted meat. SCP-833 is highly heat-resistant, but responds favorably to standard vermicides, especially albendazole. What sets SCP-833 apart from more mundane members of Trichinella is that in all infections, a small proportion of the worms colonize the central nervous system. Surprisingly, in almost all cases this does not damage the nervous system. The remaining larvae encysst themselves throughout the hypodermis. The larvae encysted in the central nervous system secrete a compound that in most cases has 2 effects. First, it leads to a marked increase in altruism. Victims of SCP-833 are generally described as becoming kinder and notably more generous. Secondly, victims gain the conviction that their tissues are extremely delicious, nutritious, or pure. Due to the increase in altruism, the host will try to help others by feeding them pieces of his or her own flesh. Because hosts do not lose their self-preservation instinct, they will generally not severely injure themselves to fulfill this compulsion. Similarly, they retain awareness of social taboos against cannibalism and so usually act in secret. Victims will typically resist the urges induced by SCP-833 for some time before finally giving in. SCP-833 came to the attention of the Foundation during a raid on a cult inn that was suspected of being connected to SCP. An unknown member of Trichinella, later designated SCP-833, was found in the system of the surviving cult members, who were then terminated.